So today I'm going to talk about something that I saw this week that I really disliked. I made a video already on it this week, but I'm going to do a video now to follow up on it because I feel like it's a very good time. So this week on Monday, I'm sure you saw the stock market dipped 2%. Now, because the stock market dipped 2%, obviously the media loved it. The media was going with all the negativity. They were putting all the big red pictures and red charts and red fonts out there. But one thing as well that happened is the YouTube scene. The YouTube scene on Monday, I have never seen anything like this before, but the stock market dipped 2% and there was so many videos out there with the titles of the stock market is crashing, the stock market just crashed, and a lot of fear and a lot of panic put out there on YouTube. And YouTube's a big platform now, you know, you've got obviously the media outlets that talk about stocks, but the YouTube side of it for the stock market is getting bigger and bigger and it's quite a big area right now. And I was shocked to see the amount of channels that were saying, this is the stock market crashing, we are entering a crash, and so much FUD and fear being pushed out there. And I was really disappointed. And the amount of big channels as well, we're not talking about small channels here, we're talking about channels that have a massive following, 100k following, pushing all this fear out over a 2% dip. A 2% dip is nothing. Prior to 2020, we used to have quite often 2% dips, but because we've had a stock market that's basically gone up in a straight line since 2020, people haven't really seen that many 2% dips. And because we had a 2% dip, there just seems to be so much fear pushed out there. And I was really disappointed to see all the fear and FUD that was being pushed out on the YouTube scene on Monday. Now, I had to actually come out on Tuesday because I didn't even talk about it. I just was making a video on something else. And Tuesday I had to come out with a video saying, don't panic, like there's a lot of fear and FUD being pushed out there. Do not panic sell any of your stocks. If you're a long-term holder, 2% is nothing. We can start panicking when it's a 20 or 30% dip, but a 2% dip is seriously nothing to get worried of. And it's not going to crash. You'll be okay. And if you're a long-term holder, just carry on holding your shares. And I said by the end of the week, we probably will have recovered all this dip. And what happened on Thursday? By Thursday, we had recovered the whole of the dip from Monday. And it just kind of showed you, there was just so much FUD and fear created on Monday with a 2% dip. And it was nothing. By Thursday, we have fully recovered it, and we've even gone higher. So if anything, maybe a little buy-in on Monday would have been good, but even so, just don't panic. You would have done okay, and we're back where we are, and now no one's talking about a stock market crash, or is the stock market crashing on Thursday. And it comes down to this point here, and it's even bigger than ever right now, is don't trust YouTube. Don't trust anyone that gets a camera and puts a stock market video on YouTube, because don't trust me, don't trust anyone, because you don't know why they are making that video. You do not know if they're actually making that video to try and help you and kind of go, oh, this is information that I found, I'm going to share it with you. Or you don't know if someone's actually making that video for personal financial gain. And that seems like what's happening more and more. There's a lot of people, a lot of channels out there that have kind of got to the point where they are pushing news or exaggerating stories or pushing FUD out there for their own personal and financial gain. And I think that what happened, that was one of the biggest days on Monday where I saw that massively on YouTube. And this has happened massively over the last kind of 12 months, maybe even now getting towards a year and a half, is we have seen a massive build-up of hype channels. And what I mean by that is, on YouTube, there is some very good channels, but there's also a lot of channels out there that are lying to you, that are there for their personal and financial gain. And what has basically happened is, 2016, the YouTube stock market scene pretty much didn't exist. And I think that's when that's about when I started. And then 2017, 2018, 2019, it's built up and up and up and up. But the big explosion especially happened in 2020, because what you had basically is obviously an already built YouTube scene, but also there was a lot of new investors, a lot of new YouTube channels as well that started doing a lot of videos in 2020. So basically what you had is everyone at home is watching YouTube, loads of new channels. But what's happened since then is obviously the world started opening back up again, people going out and doing things, and there's people spending less time on YouTube, so there's less viewers, but there's still the same amount of content creators. So when you've got the same amount of content creators, but then there's less viewers, what's happening is not everyone is kind of getting the same amount of views as before, and the views are dropping. Now what you're starting to happen now is, because a lot of people are out here for financial or personal gain is you have a lot of well, not a lot of channels, but a group of channels that go, oh, maybe YouTube is their full-time job, or maybe they go, oh, you know, my income stream's dropping, what can I do? And then what you've seen over the course of the last 12 months is you've had a YouTube scene that has gone to a lot more hype, a lot more exaggerating things for the views to keep coming in, because they want to keep their views up. And that might be like on Monday, a crash coming, you know, 2% dip, hyping things up. Oh, it's a stock market crash. The stock market crash is coming, and it is a competitive space. You know, any YouTube content creator will tell you at the end of the day, you know, you still want to have good views. You still want to have people coming in and watching your channel, and you always think about, okay, can I talk about a subject that people want to see? I want to have a, you know, catchy title or catchy thumbnail, but there's a point of view where you do attract viewers and you want to give good information, but there's also a fine line where you cross and you don't really give any information. You just want people to come on your video. You are maybe putting, you know, clickbaity titles, thumbnails, maybe pushing a lot of fear, a lot of FUD, hyping things up to attract them views. And there is a group of channels at the moment that are creating titles and creating fear because they still want to keep them views in, because maybe for them what is probably more important to them, rather than actually giving, hopefully, you know, constructive information to you, is maybe just their personal gain. They look at them, go and look at it, think, I want to keep my views in because I want my YouTube income to still keep coming in. And there's a fine line between where you get channels that are just giving you false information and lying to you and hyping things up and not really helping you as an investor, to a channel that goes, you know, I still need to have some views, but hopefully when you watch that video, you come back because you realize, oh, that was very good information there. And there's a lot of hype channels out there, and especially, you know, don't trust YouTube. You know, the big thing is, you know, if you were a new investor, it's very easy for me to say this because obviously I've been in the stock market for quite a while, and, you know, any of you guys that have been in the stock market for quite a while, you'll go, oh, you know, you're in charge of your investments. Don't listen to people on the internet. You need to know why you own them investments, and you're a long-term holder, and you don't panic sell any positions. As a long-term investor, and when you've been through a lot of different situations, obviously you get that built, you know, you build that up in yourself and you understand that. But you put your shoes, and if you can remember back to when you're a new investor and you've been in the stock market for maybe, you know, a month, 6 months, 12 months, you're kind of trying to find your feet a little bit, and probably you don't really know anyone else that invests, and you're kind of going on YouTube for hopefully some information and learning a few things. And when you start that, you have that kind of, don't have that understanding of who, being a bit more like, should I listen to this guy? Is he, you know, actually trying to give me good information, or is this guy just wanting me to click on his videos because for his own personal financial gain? And if you click on one of those videos and then you start going, oh, the crash is coming, you know, this is the start of the crash, or we're in a stock market crash, and you go, oh, you know, maybe I should sell my stocks now, maybe I should panic sell. And new investors will do this, and they will make them rash decisions because they don't know much better. They don't really understand the stock market. And like I say, for, you know, experienced investors and people that have been through, you know, crashes and dips, and understand that whatever happens, as long as you're a long-term investor, you want to be holding them stocks for long term. If you're a little bit new to the stock market, you know, you might start thinking about timing the market, which we know, you know, don't try to time the market. But if you're new, it's very easy. If you followed 3 big channels and they all started talking about suddenly on Monday a stock market crash, that could put some fear into you and make really bad financial decisions. And realistically, the only reason why they made them videos is for their own personal financial gain, and for you personally, you would have made a very bad financial mistake. And at the moment, there's a very fine line that is out there, but I feel like, especially on Monday, quite a few channels crossed that line where they created a lot of false information. They lied about certain stock market crashes, pushed a lot of fear out there, and all of that was for their personal financial gain. So you clicked on that video, they got the view, and they made that monetization from that video without giving any constructive information. And like I said, we're all out here to make views, but there's a fine line where you put in like a lot of FUD out there rather than actually, which there's a lot of channels that are really good at this, that are actually, you know, there's always the element of we need you to click on our video, but hopefully we make videos that you kind of go, oh, I really like that information. It wasn't pushing an agenda. It was tried to be factual on the situation, and you go, oh, I really like that, I'm going to go back to that channel. And there's channels out there that, sure, that, you know, everyone's out here to, you know, obviously get views on the YouTube channel, but giving you hopefully information that's constructive to help you maybe make it an opinion on something. And that's a big thing. And I feel like what we saw on Monday is a lot of channels that will push a lot of fear and FUD out, and obviously by Thursday we're at a point where the stock market is, from a stock market crash on Monday, we're at a stock market that's even higher than where it was on Monday. And yeah, it's just, you won't hear, there will be no videos on the YouTube scene on Thursday saying, oh, the stock market's crashing anymore. And yeah, I just feel like, you know, just making this video and saying, you know, obviously it's something that I was really disappointed in seeing, and hopefully, you know, some point there's some sort of thing brought in to stop it. I don't know if there's any regulation or something, or I don't know. It's just something that's happening more and more at the moment, and I feel like on Monday there was just a lot of really bad information put out there from some really big guys with 100k followings that really, if you don't have experience, if you don't have the experience to kind of go, oh yeah, everything's going to be all right, then maybe it would have been bad decisions for other people, I guess. So yeah, I just wanted to make that video today, just kind of putting that out there, and hopefully going forward no one kind of makes that mistake of getting brought in and making any bad decisions off that, I guess, really. So yeah, hope the video was useful anyway. If it was, hit the like button. If you're new, subscribe. I'll see you next one.